Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the WorkWell's October virtual Lunch and Learn. My name is Miranda Stewart. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the general manager here at the WorkWell, and we also have William Hatfield, our community manager, helping me co-host this exciting webinar. So today's topic, as you know, is how to evolve your marketing plan. This is a particularly timely topic as the WorkWell recently conducted our member survey, and one of the most common resources or comments we received was the desire to provide more marketing information and resources to you guys. So I think also during one of our earlier webinars about launching your business was that Michael Burt's webinar?
No, that was actually the one that we had with the Wesleys, the Webbs.
Yes, that's right. All of the business owners on that panel said they had the least amount of expertise with creating their marketing plan. So it definitely seemed strategic to do one about marketing. It is so important. And so we are so excited to have a panel of marketing industry experts who are going to offer their expertise and insight to the many areas that are part of a marketing plan. They'll discuss the importance of brand and logo development, website design, digital marketing and social media presence, and of course the SEO content and strategy. With that being said, I want to introduce our panel members. First off, we have Evie Dross. She is the owner of Evolutions Designs. She specializes in meeting with clients and hearing their story and discovering how their business operates to find out how she can save them time, money, and help them to be more productive by turning their website into an employee. Very exciting to hear about all of that. And then Andy Mendoza, he is the CEO and co-owner of AV Marketing. Andy and his team have helped hundreds of companies with their digital marketing, social media marketing, content strategy, advertising, and brand marketing. And then last but not least, we have Jonathan Chamberlin. He is the president of Local Brand SEO. Jonathan helps local companies rank in Google and grow their online presence by providing SEO and lead generation services. He takes a deep dive into your current online marketing to find areas to maximize your SEO. So with all that being said, Evie is going to begin the presentation with an overview of creating a marketing plan and website design. And then Andy will present on digital marketing and social media. And then Jonathan will conclude with his thoughts on the SEO content. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please post them in the chat box at the bottom of your screen. And then at the end of the presentation, William's going to lead a Q&A if there's time. We do have a lot of content to cover today. If we don't get to the Q&A or we only are able to ask a few questions, we will follow up with you via email with an answer that we get from the panelists. On that note, I've included links and info. We'll be posting those where you can connect with Evie, Andy, and Jonathan via their social media and website links. And then, of course, we also have posted the WorkWell's Facebook page. This is where we post all of the upcoming webinars and events and happenings. So be sure to like us there to stay in the know. Well, with all that being said, Evie, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Miranda. I'm going to share my screen here. All right, does everyone see my screen? All right, perfect. So, hello everyone. Thanks to Miranda and William here at the WorkWell for having me and hosting this webinar. And thank you to everyone who is tuning in right now. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so what I'm going to be covering today is we're going to talk about what branding is and why it's important, your website and the new normal, web design in the 21st century, as well as how to create a lasting impression and be consistent. And of course, we all want to work smarter and not harder. So I know Miranda introduced me, but again, I'm Evie Dross, owner and creative director of Evolution Design. I'm known for saving clients time and money by, turning their websites into an actual employee. I have over 17 years of experience in IT, web design, and multimedia. And a few fun facts is I love Mexican food and coffee, of course, not together. And one of my favorite artists is Janae Aiko. And I couldn't resist adding in a picture of my grandson, AKA G Baby Kai, because he's just so scrumptious. So a little bit about me. Next slide. So what is branding? So your brand is considered, the identity of your business. It basically includes your logo and other design elements that you use on a daily basis. So essentially a brand is a name, a term, design, symbol, or other feature that identifies one product or service from others. So let's talk about how distinctive branding can help your business. So distinctive brand, it makes it easy to identify your business. So if you think of companies like McDonald's Golden Arches or Nike's iconic swoosh, both of those incorporate several aspects of branding and not just a meaningless logo. Also, consistent branding will allow you to easily adapt your marketing tactics to an array of audiences, allowing for ideal clients to identify your brand. You also, what that is, an attractive and identifiable brand will increase your chances of landing new clients, and a unique branding builds internal pride for success and loyalty with your employees. So let's talk about branding guidelines. So every business will have different branding requirements depending on the industry, current trends, things of that nature. And so it's important to create a branding kit that includes all of your guidelines in one place. And so this is vital. This will include vital marketing collateral in one place. And that usually kind of consists of having your logo, identifying your exact color palette that you'll use, the fonts, branded imagery, content style preferences, and other marketing collateral. So let's talk about why branding is important. Your branding elements will help build recognition, strengthen your message, and grow trust with your customers. And so it is considered an investment that will serve your business for years to come, and it's essential to do it right the first time. I know for businesses that are starting out, that can sometimes be hard to do because you have a limited budget, but I'm telling you, it's better to do it now and set it and have it all set up than to do it later and have to, confuse your potential clients on your branding. So adequate branding, it provides your employees with, the tools that they need to create a cohesive marketing collateral and content. And so benefits of branding, again, include increasing brand awareness. You're going to set yourself apart from your competition. It's going to help you accurately reflect your business values, which is really important. And it establishes your brand identity. So one of the key components of your brand, of course, is going to be your website, which serves as your home base. So any piece of content, promotions, lead magnets, or other marketing collateral, those all usually will lead back to your website. Your website is going to be the centralized location where your customers and prospects have access to everything that they need to make a purchase or ask questions. And so for the best results, we recommend at a minimum that your website should at least include a contact page, because you want to make it easy for clients and prospects to reach out, a testimonial or portfolio page. This is going to provide visitors with a place where they can see how your product or service has made a positive impact on others. and giving them a reason to complete their purchase. And then last but not least is a call to action. And so from the minute a visitor comes to your site, you want to give them an actionable item to encourage them to stay. Okay. So let's talk about the new normal, all in online. So with the recent COVID, pandemic, it has changed the way consumers shop. So it is essential as a business owner to accommodate those needs and changing shopping habits. Many of consumers are actively seeking online options to limit their contact with storefronts. So let's take a look at how consumers feel about online shopping post pandemic outbreak. So what we're seeing is 36% are shopping online weekly, which is up 28% pre-COVID. We have 29% say they shop more online than in person, and 90% prefer home delivery over a store visit within the next 6 months. So those are important stats to really keep in mind as you pivot your business. Web design in the 21st century. So everyone has limited time, especially, as we just mentioned about the new normal and adjusting to COVID. So it is essential to make sure that you're getting the most out of your website design while providing your clients with tools and information that they're looking for. And so I always tell clients that web design has evolved from just being for information purposes, but to actually becoming like a full-time employee for your brand. And so it can help bring in qualified leads, build trust with customers, and provide an outstanding experience with website visitors. And so some of the top 3 features that we're seeing that is helping businesses, with day-to-day tasks are adding a live chat or a chatbot feature, incorporating an HR portal, or implementing an appointment booking system. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into those 3 features. So use a chatbot to boost your business. So, us as humans, we love instant gratification. So including a chat feature on your website is a smart way to provide them with instant gratification and provide exceptional customer service. And so some of the benefits of doing that is you're going to solve your clients' problems quickly. You're gaining insight about visitors. They're using AI and machine learning to track the types of questions that they're asking. And then you're matching consumers' communication preferences. So that is really important to understand how your target market likes to communicate, because not everyone wants to pick up a phone or send an email. The other feature is implement an HR portal. So you want to make it easy to onboard employees, and an HR portal provides all that information that they need to quickly access. And so you can create deliverables up front and use them for all of your employees. And ways that we're seeing that being used is clients are adding onboarding and introduction packets. They're putting their policies and procedures online, and then also implementing a staff directory and giving employees access to news and announcements. And then the last feature is use appointment booking to your advantage. Now, I know there's a lot of third-party tools out there that you would pay an additional fee to, typically on a monthly basis. And so these are functions that can be implemented within your website. And so with that, you can offer 24/7 access to your calendar. It allows you to close sales faster. So if a prospect is ready to make a purchase, you don't want to lose out on that opportunity because they had to wait to set up an appointment. And then seamless payment solution is you can collect payments at the same time. So, of course, we all want to create a lasting impression, and consistency is extremely important. And so 87% of customers will tell others about their good experience. So word of mouth referrals is the best way to go. So you want to always make sure that you are providing that. So going above and beyond to create a seamless user experience on your website is just going to help make a positive first impression. And in turn, visitors, will be more likely to stick around to make a purchase and share that feedback with family and friends. You also want to think outside the box for ways to engage with visitors. So in today's world, consumers are really eager to have an interactive experience that is both entertaining and informational. So think outside the box for ways to engage with visitors from the moment that they enter your website. And then you want to implement brand consistency to create a better user experience. I can't stress enough how important consistency is. And so within your web design, you want to make sure that your headings, your fonts and colorings, and going back to the branding guidelines, all of that matches and fits with your brand. And then key takeaways. Of course, like I said, we all want to work smarter, not harder. And so consistent and effective branding and web design helps to streamline your business so that you have time to focus on creating new ways to bring in revenue and business. And so a few of the key takeaways that will change your business for the better is that brand guidelines will make it easy for your entire team to stay on the same page. Web design in the 21st century allows your website to actually work for you. Consistent branding builds trust with your clients, and marketing your business has forever changed, and a well-designed website will help you stay ahead of the game in 2021. And so once you've established your brand and your website, the next step, of course, will be to promote it. And you'll do that by using digital marketing and social media. And so Andy is the guru for that. And so I'm going to turn it over to Andy.
Thank you so much, Evie, for that great presentation. And I will say this much, a website goes a very long way whenever you're marketing your business. So if you definitely need help with your website, or you just feel like, hey, you know what, I might not be doing something right, I'm not sure, definitely contact Evie. She will help you out for sure.
Thank you.
Let me try and share my screen here. Okay, can everybody see that good? Okay, so one thing I'm going to cover is digital strategy and social media presence. It's very, very, very important to have a good strategy in place to do your digital marketing, and also, of course, how do you present your company? How do you even have a presence in social media? So the very first thing when it comes to, give me 1 second. So the very first thing when it comes to, oh man.
We'll just make this one of those funny GIFs that we send out, those Zoom meeting GIFs.
Give me 1 second, guys.
No worries. Don't forget, if y'all have any questions throughout the presentation, to post them in the group chat. William will be asking the panelists at the end your questions, as well as, even if we can't get to them, they will be answered. We will get with the panelists after this webinar to get answers to those questions and then get those over to you with a recording of this webinar as well. And thank you, Evie. I loved your presentation. So insightful.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I got it. Thank you so much for bearing with me.
Of course.
Okay, so one of the biggest, oh God, okay. I think I see what it's saying. Okay. So one of the biggest things as far as getting a digital strategy is going to be, who is your target market? So one of the biggest things as far as, you know, like, what kind of strategy do I do, right? Do I, like, you know, do I just market to whoever, or what, you know, what do I do in that aspect? Whenever you are building a digital strategy, you always want to know who your audience is, who is your customer, right? So who's going to be ideal in purchasing your product or your services. And whenever you are building this, you obviously want to get as detailed as possible. And you will not believe how detailed you can possibly get, especially when it comes to Facebook. So let me give you a quick example. If you're selling some cool shades, right? You know, has the wood sides and it looks really nice and whatnot. Obviously, you're not going to market to everybody, right? You're not going to market to a, you know, 35-year-old mom who is in a PTA meeting or something like that, you know. So you obviously want to market to the ideal customer. In this case, my personal opinion, you might want to market to males between 35 and 50 who live in suburban areas. They enjoy golfing, they want to look stylish, right? They're out in the sun. So it's just an example of, you know, altering your strategy as far as what you're selling and who you're trying to sell to. So one of the cool, really cool things that Facebook does, and Facebook is my personal favorite, is that Facebook lets you create a custom audience. You can upload, if you already have an email list, or you have phone numbers from, you know, past customers, or you have Facebook IDs from past customers, or even customers that you're trying to get to, potential customers that you're trying to get to. You can upload that onto Facebook and then create lookalike audiences, and Facebook will actually help you find people who are in that same, you know, aspect of demographics and whatnot. So that'll definitely help you out in terms of marketing. It'll definitely help you out in terms of budgeting, because obviously you do not want to pour thousands of dollars into an ad that is not going to work. So it's very, very, very important that you create a custom audience for yourself in terms of who is your target market and what are the demographics, who is your ideal seller, your perfect seller, someone who's going to go into a perfect website designed by Evie and purchase right away. So let me just go here. So let me give you an example of a great digital strategy. Believe it or not, I just added this slide this morning, and those two pictures that you see there are screenshots from my personal phone. And I saw that and I said, you know what, this is just great. This is exactly what I want to show to this audience today. So you kind of have an idea of exactly what you want to lean towards for your business. So this company right here, Tuner Quote, I personally am a huge fan, and I'm personally a customer of them. So the way that they position their marketing strategy is absolutely phenomenal. So they know who their target market is. They know who their customer is. And they're using both traditional marketing. On the left side, you do see a Facebook ad. And on the right side, you see them using influencer marketing, which is just purchasing paid media through an account that has a large following, you know, that in this case loves cars, right? They love the specific brand Nissan GTR. They know this customer is going to purchase from them to try and win this car, even though the likeliness of it is very, very, very low for that person. but I am victim of their marketing strategy, and I do purchase all the time. This is a great example of knowing your customer, knowing what they like, specifically marketing to them to maximize your money, because obviously your money is very, very, very important as far as a marketing strategy, and spending it on a perfect ad that'll get you the most amount of purchases from your ideal client. So moving on to the importance of a social media presence. So just to kind of give you another example, on the picture on the right, 93% of customers expect companies to have a presence on social media. It's a new age, it's a new era, and it's as simple as that. Every single business should be on social media. Me personally, of course, all my friends and everybody that I know, when they see a business, whether it be a brick and mortar business, on the road, or they just kind of, someone mentions it, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to search for your business on social media. Why? Because social media shows everything of what you are. And of course, that goes back to what Evie said about branding. They want to see everything. Who are you? What exactly do you do? What do you stand for? You are leaving a lot of money on the table if you're not on social media. People want to see exactly what you're selling, who's the owner, who are your employees, what do you stand about, what is all this, and of course that all reflects in your social media pages, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn is huge right now. If you're in the professional market, that is an absolute, you get well clients off of LinkedIn, so I would highly recommend LinkedIn. So how do you build your social media presence? Okay, Andy, I created my social media accounts. What exactly do I do? How do I find these people? How do these people find me? It all goes back to content, guys. You have to post content every single day. That is the way you're going to be found. And of course, my favorite type of content is going to be engaging content. Engaging content connects you with your audience and your target market. So it makes you look real, right? You're not just a robot. You're not just somebody who planned 30 posts ahead of time and then just kind of like, leave it there and let's see what happens. It makes you look, it's more personalized. It gives value to your audience as well, as opposed to just sell, right? People are going to social media to socialize. That's the whole point of social media channels. So when they open their Facebook and they see something like, hey, buy this, but they don't even know who you are, they're less likely to buy. So what kind of engaging posts can you post? So on the left side, I did share a picture of something, some stuff that you can put on your social media channels that will definitely help you. So my personal favorite is share relevant news and updates. You want to keep people updated in your industry. For example, if you're in the real estate game, you want to post, news articles from obviously published, official, companies that are showing like, hey, the market is at an all-time low, buy now. You want to do stuff like that to kind of lean them towards contacting you and saying, hey, like, well, I mean, I'm ready to buy a house. How can you help me do this? And then that's whenever you help them. You want to ask relevant questions to your target audience, right? You want to ask them like, hey, Motivation Monday, you post a motivation post, like what are your goals this week, and have people comment under that post and then comment on their comments and say, hey, you know what, go ahead, reach them, stuff like that. Really engage with your audience, to let them know that you're there. Incorporate some humor. Of course, everybody likes humor, right? Everybody likes funny stuff. You post a meme, you post a GIF, something like that, and you put a title that's relevant to your industry, and that'll definitely help some people out as far as engaging with your post. Do some cross-posting and all that stuff. Share curated content. Whenever people post something that's relevant to your industry, share it, comment, and give them a shout out, and they'll do it in return. It's just something, it all goes down to socializing with different companies, with your target audience, and just kind of moving the ball in that aspect. So interactions is very, very important. So interactions and engagement is completely different. It might sound the same, of course. I don't blame you. It does kind of sound the same, but in differences, it's engagement is always going to be down to what you bring, right? You're going to post something, people are going to engage with you. Interactions always goes with you interacting with your current and prospective audience. So comment on their posts, even if it's not related to your industry. Comment on their posts. If it's a picture of them, holding a dog and say, "Oh my God, my new dog." Comment them, "Hey, I'm so happy for you." All this stuff. Be their friend. Obviously, you want to socialize with them. You want to let them know that you're real, and as a brand, you're here for them. Send them messages, perhaps offering a discount. If you're a restaurant, just say, "Hey, we just got this new appetizer in. If you come into the restaurant and you purchase an entree, we'll give you this new appetizer for free just to see what it's like. We want your feedback," stuff like that. And of course, like I said before, be social. Being social is the #1 thing when it comes to digital marketing. Whether you're running an advertisement, whether you're doing just a regular post on your account, always try to go for that social aspect, because people want to know who you are and what you're about. And that should pretty much do it for me.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Andy. Jonathan, you will be taking over talking on SEO, content and strategy.
Alrighty. Let me get my screen going here. Can everybody see that?
Yes. If you want to make that a little larger.
Yeah, I can do that.
Just here.
I'm gonna blow past this text.
Oh, okay. Perfect. No worries.
Personal notes. Yeah, so just so we're on the same page, SEO is great for your business. If you want your business to be on the top of Google and perform well, SEO is your choice. There's a reason why all the big names in your industry are first in Google. It's because they put the effort towards getting there. One analogy I use is that if you had a business 80 years ago, you would want that business to be on the main street of town in the most prominent intersection. You didn't want to be 5 blocks up, 5 blocks over in a back alley. Nobody's going to find you. Same thing applies today with Google search results. The beauty is your location in those search results are not fixed. You can actually move up pages, move up spots with the help of SEO. And just on a personal note, for all you business owners out there, there's really no reason not to excel in this market that's Houston. The GDP is over 400 billion. Within the metro area, there's close to, I think, 7 million people. Whatever you're doing, whatever your goals in life for your business, you can achieve it here in town with the proper strategies. So that said, I'm going to cover 4 things that deal with SEO. Technical SEO, on-page SEO, off-page SEO, and Google My Business. So with technical SEO, this is all like the behind your website data that Google crawlers are going to search for so they understand your website better. This includes page titles, header tags, and all of your image information. So the first thing you guys can do is, I'm going to have to move this over a little bit. There's an extension I'm going to use today called SEO Meta in one click. This is a Chrome extension. You can install it, and you can do the same thing for your site that I'm about to show you. So the first website we're going to check out is Joe the Plumber. He's a plumber here in Cyprus, and he kicks butt at it. And I'll explain how he kicks butt later on. But for now, we're going to take a look at his metadata. And once again, these are the things that Google is going to look at to understand what the website is about. So right here we have Joe's page title. This is the text that's going to come up in search results. He did an excellent job here. He mentioned Plumber first, followed by Cypress. You know, you want to put your most crucial, the thing you want to be known for in the front. And then he followed up with some location and Katie Plumbing Company. Remember that? He wants to get into Katie. This will make sense later. Headers. Your site is going to have H1 and possibly H6. Most websites only have H1, H2, H3, and maybe H4s. This, again, is telling Google crawlers, what do I want to be known for? Joe the Plumber is telling Google, I want to be known for Joe the Plumber. Well, that may not be the best thing to say because people are most likely searching for plumbers in Cypress. So I would actually switch H1 and H2 for Joe here, and he'll probably see a bump in his ranking. His H3s is service, and then H4s goes into all the services that he offers. This is really tight, really good stuff for him. Images, Joe the Plumber does not have a whole bunch of images on his site. He has this one hero image with his trucks, his field team, his business, etc. So again, these crawlers are coming in trying to figure out, you know, what is this plumbing site about? And Joe's site here, his hero image, the file name is just a bunch of letters and numbers. It's not telling Google much of anything. It should say, you know, plumbing company in Cypress or whatever. Same thing with alt text. Says emergency plumbing company. Doesn't really mention a location. He could do better in this area. So again, take a look with this extension. Take a look at your site. See what you're telling Google. I'm going to show you another site that actually does this very well. This is a sandblasting site. This is a lead generation site. But just to take a look at what they're doing, bunch of text, bunch of keywords, their services, what they offer. But let's take a look at their metadata. Their page title, Sandblasting Houston, Texas. He got a second keyword in there, Dustless Blasting, Texas. Really clean, really sharp. Headers. Now this is a really, really simple site. There's not much to it. But their header structure is still on point. Sandblasting Houston, he's got that keyword up there. He's followed that with the services. And there's not much to it, but it's telling Google a whole lot. Image data. Take a look here. Compare it to Joe. This file name, Sandblasting Houston, Industrial Sandblasting. 2 primary keywords. Alt texting still has those keywords, still has a location. The titles are descriptive, tells exactly what's going on in the picture. Fantastic stuff, and this site probably reached #1 spot within probably a couple months, just because he made it simple for the search engines to read. So on to on-page SEO, and more importantly, content. Just notice what this guy did here. Look at his content. A couple paragraphs for a service. His homepage, you know, you're probably looking at 1,200 words. And that's going to give information to Google. That's going to tell Google more about what the website is about. You're going to be able to fit more keywords in there. You're going to be able to rank for more words, long tail words included. So how do you, as a business owner, come up with content? So the best place to look is in Google. You know, So go into bring up Google search, type in your industry if you're an accountant, and Google's going to tell you what people want to read about. There's a section here, people also ask. Well, answer those questions in your content. You know, what are the basics of accounting? What's its purpose? What are the 4 areas of accounting? What are the 8 branches? Write out content about that stuff. Just make a list, go down through this, see what websites are ranking and what they're talking about. What is accounting and what is an accountant and what do they do? Go on to the second page. If you do business accounting, answer this question: what is accounting and why is it important for your business? You can look at YouTube. So again, search whatever industry you're in and see what's performing well, see what people are watching. So I found this, how your home plumbing works. It's a 7-minute video. It has 500,000 views. It's been up for 6 months. You can watch this, and you know, if you were a plumber, you would know what they're talking about, obviously. But you could turn this video into text on your website. Just look for those clues within Google of what's performing well. Another great thing to do is your industry. Do a search for your industry, an infographic in Google Images. You're going to come up with all these beautiful infographics created by people, you know, presumably with knowledge of, in this case, plumbing. And you're just going to gather ideas, hire a designer to create it, put it on your site. And what's going to happen is, you know, somebody's going to come to your website looking for plumbing. They're going to come to this beautiful information. They're going to stop. They're going to read it. They're going to, you know, they're going to be on your site for an extra 5 minutes. And that's a signal to Google that's saying, hey, this guy, he needed a plumber in Cyprus, and he came to this plumbing site and he stayed for 5 minutes. Obviously that site is doing something right. I'm going to send more people to that company. So these are 3 good ways to come up with content. And just like Andy said, if you create one of these infographics, you can slice this up and you could come up with maybe 20 posts for Facebook, for Instagram. And you know, that's your social media for a month. So I hope you like that idea. We're going to move on to backlinks. This is a very dry subject. So, all right. So a backlink, if you go to a website and you see a highlighted text and you click on that text and you go to another site, that's a backlink. And there are 2 types of backlinks. There's a no follow and there's a do follow. Now, every web page has an authority score that Google gives it. And this score, you know, you don't know what it is, they keep it private, but there's tools that kind of guess what it would be. So if you have a do follow backlink from one site to yours, and that page has authority, some of that authority juice gets transferred to your page. And one of the ranking factors that Google has is they want authoritative web pages. So we're going to use Joe the Plumber again. And this is a tool that I use called Majestic. And his trust flow right here is 13, or his authority. Like I said, there's different tools call it different things. Majestic calls it trust flow, but it's essentially the same thing. It's still authority. So his authority is 13 out of 100. And his backlinks, you can take a look at them here. He has a do follow up here, several no follows. I don't know if you guys can see that. The text is really small even for me. And then he has a couple more do follows. But that authority of 13 is just coming from this first one, this first site, that page has a authority of 20. All these other ones are 0. So Google is ranking Joe the Plumber higher because they're taking a look at that authority. They got a link from this website, handymanreview.com. So how can you get backlinks? One great way is to get one of these tools and put in your competitors and just copycat. So if I was a plumber, if I was working for a plumber in Cyprus, I would contact handymanreview.com and say, hey, I'm a plumber in Cyprus. How can you review me? And I can get that backlink, and I can copy all these backlinks. And I can go to other places too. So with backlinks, you want backlinks that have industry relevance, so from other plumbing companies, and also local. So you can look for plumbing directories and get backlinks from there. You can get backlinks from other local services. Let's say you find a masseuse in town who has a web page that has great authority. You can go to that person and say, hey, let me sponsor your site for 6 months. I'll give you $100. All you have to do is put something at the bottom of your site that says sponsored by my company and have a link that goes back to it. Yes, it's $100, but if that site has authority of, 25, 30, whatever, and you get some of it and your site goes up the rankings, I mean, the $100 is gonna more than pay for itself. Those are just a couple ideas. Again, see what your competitors are doing, not just here in Houston. If you're a plumber, see what the best plumbers are doing in Austin. Same can be said again for content, to backtrack a little bit. Just because success leaves clues. And I'm not saying to copy their content, not to steal it, but just to see how they're succeeding and, put your own spin on it. And you're gonna do better. Last thing I'm going to get into is Google My Business. This is the Google Map pack. So when you do a search for a service, you'll see the Google Maps, and then you'll see a listing for 3 companies. That's the GMB. So I have a very, very cool tool here that I'm going to show you. So this software just came out this week. One of my friends built it, but this is a heat map. And so this is Joe the Plumber again. And so what we're looking at is when the keyword plumber is searched in this location, let's say right here in Magnolia, when plumber is searched there, his GMB listing is the 20th plumbing site or greater. Down here in Waller, Texas, maybe 13. Down here 14, 11. And like I said, he's killing it in Cyprus. Cyprus right here. Look at all these greens, 1s, 2s, and 3s, and a 4. He's doing great in Cyprus. But if we go back to his page title, he also mentioned Katy. Katy's all the way down here. How is his GMB performing? It's not performing that great. He's the 20th or more business in a long list. So there's at least 20 plumbers before him. What are the chances that a customer is going to go through 20 other plumbers? Unlikely. So what can Joe do to improve this? How can he change these reds into yellows and greens? Well, just as in the technical SEO where we were shooting signals to Google that, hey, you know, we provide this service in this area, we can do the same thing with his GMB. How do we do that? Well, we just, we seed that information into his GMB. We can mention the service area in his description, which he already does, but we can also, maybe he has a friend in Katy. He can say, hey Timmy, go to my GMB and ask me a question. Ask me, hey, do you provide plumbing services in Katy? And then Joe's gonna get that and he'll respond, yes, Timmy, I provide plumbing services in Katy. And that's gonna be a little signal to Google that I provide this service in this location. He could do the same thing with images. He can upload an image, name the image, you know, hot water heater, Katy, geotag it, right? Not to get off base, but geotag it. We can take a look here. We can get the exact GPS coordinates for this search, where that data is coming from. Put that data into the image, and that's another signal that he provides that service in that location. Reviews. He can say, hey, to a customer, review me, but just mention the city you're in. If it's Magnolia, if it's Spring, if it's Katy, whatever, just mention the city you're from, or even the neighborhood, and that's gonna seed that information. So that is all I have for you. So this heat map is really cool. If you want, this is a little freebie I'm offering. If you want your own heat map for your GMB, reach out to me. Tell me your keyword that you want the data from and the name of your business, and I'll shoot out your own heat map. Same for your backlink profile. If you want to see how your company is performing, I'll get you your authority score and a list of your backlinks. And I believe my information is somewhere in the group. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. Wow. You know, it's kind of funny you said, here comes the dry part. And yeah, I made a comment in the chat box, just how much data and how analytical the Google and the SEO part of this presentation was, but that probably gives you more direct information that can be used to direct your strategy there. So thank you so much for sharing that. Very interesting. And yes, as Jonathan mentioned, everybody's contact information I'm going to repost here in the chat in just a few moments. So with that being said, we have a time for maybe one quick question. It was something that Evie had mentioned earlier, and that was, you know, right now, the new normal with COVID, we've lost so much of that personal contact when it comes and is related to our business. Do you recommend maybe investing more in video or interactive content on your website? And if so, what is the best way to implement that content into your website?
Absolutely. So definitely doing videos, talking a little bit more on whatever your expertise is. You can upload those to YouTube and embed them on your website. Also, I know Andy probably could help with social media, like for instance with Instagram, they have they just came out with Reels, and they have Instagram stories. So that's another great way to engage with your audience and kind of be more face-to-face, so to speak. So yes, definitely recommend that.
All right, perfect. Perfect. Okay, well, let's see. Let me post everybody's contact information here in the chat box, and we're going to kind of start with the wrap-up of the event. And once again, everybody, thank you so much. This is really informative. Give me 1 second so we can get everybody in. And everybody's contact information is also in the chat box from earlier, from around 12:10. Let's see, but it's just been reposted now to everybody. Okay, great. Well, that is a very insightful webinar, and really appreciate you presenting it. To me, there are so many moving parts that make up an effective marketing strategy, and it can be hard to include or even think about all of them when you're going through your planning. And if you don't have the knowledge of how these initiatives can improve your business, it can be easy to forget about doing some of the most important things that are related to your marketing. The great thing is, though, that if you find yourself stuck or feeling overwhelmed at all of the marketing stuff that's out there, that there are really a lot of great resources that are available, even here through the Workwell, that we can get you in contact with a professional that will help you navigate everything that makes up a really effective marketing plan. I think Evie will agree with me that having your brand provide the kind of exposure that will convey your vision and your services and will help you maximize your prospects and help to lead to business growth, that those are all goals that are very achievable with the right marketing plan. And it's important that the right marketing plan is also the right marketing plan for your company. So with that being said, thank you so much, Evie, Andy, and Jonathan, for being part of a great panel. And that's going to wrap up today's luncheon and our virtual lunch and learn. As a quick reminder, if you have joined late or haven't already, I will repost the links in the chat for our contact information for our panelists. So be sure to click on those and you can connect with any one of them as needed. Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to also follow the Workwell and our Facebook page to be kept up to date on all of our upcoming events, programs, contests that we run. And there's also a file icon in the chat box that if you want to click that before we close up today, that you will also have the transcript of the chat. And this content and everybody's contact information will also be available in the video that we will post of today's webinar. So I can't thank you guys enough. And to everyone who has joined us, thank you for supporting and being a part of the Workwell's webinar today. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. We look forward to seeing you at our next event.